I watch episode 79 of Pokémon every year because I watch every episode of Pokémon every year. In episode 79, 4th round Rumble, Gary catches loser-itis. The episode begins at the end of Gary's 4th round, which is rumbling. In his second on-screen battle, Gary loses again because his opponent has a name and was on the green side. A Nido went down in the opening scene 2 episodes in a row. Baby Boy Blue collapses and crumbles inward as his sycophants fall silent and the rest of the stadium cheers at his defeat, his rival too in disbelief. Rumbled, grumbled, and humbled, Ash attempts to console his competition who is no longer in the competition, but with no interest in having Ash on his side, Gary goes back to fronting. Emotional availability and transportation are the obligations of his squad. Ash takes Gary's loss harder than Gary, and his own cheerleaders must curb him from contemplating quitting minutes before his 4th round rumble. Elsewhere, his other ops have gone straight but are still curious, successfully hawking counterfeit collectibles in a space where they've committed acts of terror without any disguises. Ash's 4th round rumble on the grass field is against Jeanette Fisher, who walks with ambiently wafting flower petals and her own cheer squad. Jeanette Fisher is also a credible threat because she has a first name and a last name, which is more names than all of his other preliminary opponents combined. Their battle begins with Bulbasaur and Beedrill. The buzzer tries to bump the ball, but its cross-pollination is countered and Ash earns an early lead. For her second insect, she sends out Scyther, even though she's on the red side. Bulbasaur struggles with arithmetic, but by doing 3 attacks in a single turn, Grass again beats Bug. Back to the villainous pavilion for their interlude of insolence, the thieves attempt more theft by revealing their identities fully, calling the attention of the authorities, who assume that the villains are on board and burn first and ask questions later. The police intervention leads to more damages that set the scum onto their next scam. Predatory capitalism is its own form of terrorism. From the tumble back to the rumble, Jeanette Fisher calls on the third and final of her throng, Bellsprout, the looped-lipped limp leaf Pokémon. Ash underestimates the pitcher plan even though being unsuspecting is their whole deal. It goes with the flow and throws what was grown. The unsus sprouted bell is superior to the sword bulb. Already on the field, Pikachu enters next, but Bellsprout is immune to electrical attacks because of pseudoscience necessary to prolong the plot. Pikachu fills the gap for physical damage, but unlike its predecessors, Bellsprout actually floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. Downed by the Drunken Master's drop kick, but without a Pokeball to return to, instead of receiving immediate medical attention, Pikachu just slouches on the sidelines for the rest of the episode. Now down to his final pick as well, the secondary characters arrive to provide more pressure on Pallet Town's last prospect. For his last Pokémon, Ash chooses another that everyone except Oak forgot he had. Jeanette Fisher correctly estimates Muck and attempts all of Bellsprout's tricks, but the fetorous fluid floods the flower. Healthy plant life is no match for man-made pollutants. Who's that Pokémon? Soiled Soil. With her flowing petals replaced by plastic confetti, Jeanette Fisher exits forever. Ash wins another round with a Pokémon that he abandoned and has never battled with before, but the first without his friends by his side. He locked them out so that he could lock in. Others tried to bring it on, but he's the one taking off. Ash overcame his rival with the help of his only living family member. Oak wasn't there for his grandson's rumble and was glad that he lost. His failing familial line never mattered to him. With his Day 1 hater out of the picture until the end of the next arc, Ash can frame a less toxic narrative to motivate himself. He doesn't need a rival who shares his goals or sees his soul. He's free until the next round. To be continued.